Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? There is the dump truck. The patch has landed and I am now able to start recording and giving you a few details. Now, I said to you yesterday that I would try to do which one you guys wanted. If you wanted me to sort of cheat in the gold, I think the gold cheat is still active, or I could instead keep earning the money and not cheat it in. It's going to take a little bit longer to get there, but we would eventually be able to earn ourselves a dump truck. And these two over here, there's this one here that you tip the stuff into, and then there's the bucket elevator that works into the tier 3 plant. Now, I've not been able to leave it very long because I needed to get this episode recorded, but the general consensus seems to be to keep playing. A few people have said they would like me to cheat it in, but I think the overall majority are actually preferring that I just play as normal and keep struggling on. So I just wanted to show you this. This one here is 15,000, and then this one here is 120,000. And then you've got the dump truck over here, and this one is $148,000. So this one's an absolute fortune. However, I think that these two over here would make the job a little bit easier. It'd certainly make it easier to tip into just using the wheel loader that we've already got. And on top of that, the dump truck is kind of useless without these two. So we'd need to get these two first. So we're looking at 135,000 in order to get both of those up and running. Now, there's one other thing that I wanted to show you, and that is over this way. I'm just going to leave the pickup there. We can run over. It's the bank. They have finally updated the whole loan system so that you can see how much you owe, and it doesn't look good. We took our loan out over a very long time, and so we've got a lot of repayments left to go. You can see we have $230,238 left on our current loan, a daily charge of $5,354 with 43 days left to run. So we have got to try to find a way to earn a great big pile of money whilst sort of keeping our loan running. And the only way that I can see of doing that is to just keep using the wheel loader and keep shoveling stuff into that plant. Now, I figure that probably the best way to do that is to, for a few days at least. I mean, the other problem that we've got is it's a more serious problem. We need to be able to get back to town. We need to regularly be able to get back to town in order to keep the loan repayments going. Let me just change camera a minute. There we go. And what I'd like to be able to do is this camera here and move it, but unfortunately you can't move that camera. There's no way to do it. So yeah, I'd like to be able to do that. I mean, I can drive this one at the moment like this, but on some of the other vehicles it would be better if we could change it. Anyway, that bit is besides the point. What I'm saying is the ability to smelt gold has now been removed if you don't have enough money to pay for it. You are not allowed to owe them money to smelt your gold. So either we stay at the claim without coming back into town for quite a long time and accumulate a big pile of gold, or we're going to have to just keep going backwards and forwards, earning a bit of gold, and getting the ore accumulated. What we will at the moment is whatever we can do today. We can work through today, and I think we're okay to go through tomorrow as well. Then we're going to run out because it's 3:45 in the morning, so we don't need to go to bed now. We can start work, and we can work right through the day, filling up the wash plant and hopefully filling up those mats and the buckets underneath and things like that, and keep them all running really well. And then we can sleep the night tomorrow night. I mean, we don't have to sleep the night. We could just work through the night. It's just easier, I think, if we do sleep through the night. We're not going to be sort of doing it in darkness. I don't want to be doing loads off camera. That's the one thing that I always state with any games that I play. There's little point in me doing a whole load of it off camera. I might as well just cheat in some gold. So we'll start doing it like this and see if it's possible to do this over the next few episodes and see if that's possible. If it's not, then we will look at using the gold cheat. Now, the money cheat was removed, but I believe the gold cheat is still there. You type gold into the console and it gives you some extra gold. So we'll try this way for a couple of episodes, and if that doesn't work, if we really can't sort of get like a boost on this, I mean, I could go on and play this game myself. You know, if I was just playing this myself, I could sit here for like 4 hours, 5 hours, and just play it continuously, and I would be able to sort of earn the gold. But I can't really do that, and I don't want to be doing exactly the same thing for loads of episodes, because that is just going to be boring for you all to watch. You're not going to want to watch that. It's not going to be entertaining, and you're going to get absolutely fed up to the back teeth with watching it. So I can't really go and do that. So I'm just going to pull that one to a stop right there, put the handbrake on, and switch the engine off. Lights out. And the light is almost upon us. So what have we got down here? We've got a mess of buckets absolutely everywhere. Some of these have got water in and some don't. What have we got? That one I think does have water in. So we'll put the ones with water over here. Now, a few people have been saying about the framework there on the ground that is below this one, that it might be for another hog pan. I've tried putting a hog pan on there and I couldn't get anything to snap to the different points, so I'm not sure that it is actually a hog pan. That one's got water in as well, so I want to put that one over there. And what have you got? You're empty, so you can come over here and you can go under there, just like that. And what's the next one? Empty again, so this one we'll leave the empty ones over here so that they're ready to use. What about you? Oh, you've got water in, so that one can come down here. That one's ready to rinse out a gold mat. That one is an empty, and this one is another empty. So we've got 4 empties here. And oh, there's 5 empties over here. So we'll leave the empties there, and we'll just run up the top here. We can put these generators and stuff going in just a second. We've got some buckets here that are ready to go. I'll drop these down here as well. Put that one down. And what else have we got up here? It's probably quite dark for you at the moment. I'm just going to I'm going to leave a couple of these up here. We've got 1 bucket in that magnetite separator that's got some stuff in it. And over here, I've plugged the other one back in, so this is all ready to roll down here. And the hose over here, if I just take that hose pipe off the end there and drop it down like that, that one's ready to go as well. So this is all good to go, I think. I think the whole system here is just good to go. What I'm going to do, one more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run up this way, and I'm going to see if we have any more good quality workers available. Use, there we go. Right, so we can go to the Old Glen Bank now, and we can see it from here. And yeah, $230,000. That is a huge sum of money. That really is. That's just that's just frightening. It really is. So we got one more awaiting. So we got 31, 34, 36, and 41. I don't want 40s, I don't think. Although I do have one at 41%. We now have to pay more for the... Well, no, the workers, you pay the same. It's just that you get less gold from them. So it becomes less and less worthwhile. So I don't think I will at the moment. I think I am now going to wait until I get at least a 50% worker before I start employing anybody else. I don't think it is worth the bother of employing anybody below that point now. I really don't. What do we got in there? There's nothing in there. Right, those buckets are all empty. We start the generator up. That one's going. And we'll just run up here, start this one up, and we can get onto the loader and start throwing stuff through the tier 3 wash plant. Let's just make sure that everything is in place down here. Yes, we've got our grids and everything in place down there. And right, they're all on nothing at the moment. They're just sort of empties and so on. And as soon as we start putting stuff in with this one, you can see the dawn is coming. Now, you sleep until 6 a.m., so we're pretty close to finishing the day now. Can I get in eventually? Yes, I can. Right, and I go like that, and there. Now then. Oh. That's saying that it's got no fuel. Oh, there's the fuel. Right. Whew. I had a mild panic there for a moment. I thought that we'd actually completely run out of fuel on this thing, and I thought that's really not the way I wanted to start the day running out of fuel completely. That would just be really bad. Okay, let's see what we can do with this one today and whether they've made any alterations. I know that there's like some tweaks and stuff that they may have put in, but I don't think they've actually done anything to this one. I mean, it would be nice if they had done something to it. But, no, I don't think they have, but to be honest, I think it sort of feels alright. It would take 135,000 to put the loading bit there in front of the shaker. So let me bring this one. Just need to get the hang of where exactly I need to drive on this one. And that's kind of sticking out to the side there. That could all load onto that. And then once that was loaded on there, or snapped in place on there. Right. Is that all going in the shaker properly? That's the next thing. I hope it is. I think it is. I go like that. I think they've actually changed the ground level ever so slightly here. It does look a little bit different to what it was. Yes, they have. They've altered the ground level ever so slightly. So this one now, instead of being out the front of the... Oh, I see what they've done. Let me just... I'll quickly show you here. I'm going to run underneath the bucket, exactly like you're supposed to in real life. Okay, maybe not. No, it was in a direct line. It was straight out through here. This is where the framework was, and now the framework is over here. But looking at it, it looks like that the bucket thing would go there and go up over there. And then you've got the point where you tip is here, but I would say that it's this side you've got to tip from. So your dump truck would come down here and reverse straight up to here and tip in there, which means that the wheel loader, when it was doing it, is going to have to come from that side. So let's... Why is that bucket shaking around like crazy? Right, it would have to come from this side. If I could do it sort of from there. Let me see. How could we do this? I mean, I'd want to try and get that so that it was fairly easy to operate. You bring that one up and you can just tip it straight in there without any problems. And then you can back down here. And then we head over this way. Actually, I think that's going to work really well. That would actually sort of go in quite nicely with our field that we've got dug here. We'd be able to carry on doing our digging here. And that whole piece would... That would work really well. Okay, so we want to get that as soon as possible. We really do. Because that is going to... That's like in the perfect location for us. I can actually work fairly well from this angle anyway, I think. I'm gonna try it now. I'm gonna see what it's like going up over this wooden framework here and then coming in round this way. It's pushing uphill a little bit. Well, that's just because I've turned too late for that first turn. So if I move back a bit and then turn in here. There was something about fuel lines. You get fuel lines that break and they shouldn't break anymore. I wasn't aware that fuel lines broke anyway, so there's something about fuel lines that have been changed or fixed or done something to. Release the handbrake. Yeah, okay. And we bring that one down there. So, yeah, I think actually, we'd be saving a little bit of time, I think, being able to tip it in with the bucket thing, but the dump truck's the big thing. And I think that loading the dump truck, I'm going to want to load the dump truck not with this one, but with the big excavator. We'll get that big excavator in here and we can start loading it with that one. I mean, we'll try both methods. We'll try loading it with this one and we'll try loading it with the big excavator and we'll sort of see how they compare. I think either way, really, we could be pleasantly surprised. Now that I've managed to get a joystick working on this one, this seems to be working quite well. But, you know, if I'm going to be using the excavator, I'm still going to be using the keys, because I don't want to be doing one joystick and keys. I don't yet have a controller fitted up to my PC, although it is on my to-do list. And the other thing is, I think that there is a couple of players that have managed to get two joysticks working together. And if I could do that, that would be absolutely amazing. I could get two joysticks working on this one for the excavator, and it would also mean that I'd be able to get two joysticks working in Farming Simulator, and if I could do that, that would be absolutely fantastic, because I could put the two joysticks working together on the forestry stuff, you know, the Ponzi Scorpion. If I could get two joysticks working on that thing, that would be just absolutely amazing. I would have so much fun doing that. I really would. But let's one step at a time, shall we? Let's just see how the excavator pans out in here loading up that dump truck. I don't know what the buckets compare to. I don't actually think there's a lot of difference between the bucket on this one and the bucket on that excavator. I think they're roughly about the same. Just bring that in there. There we go. Handbrake on and tip. So you get the big lumps falling down the conveyor belt on this side. And I think that's how it's supposed to work. That's what it's meant to do. And then all the rest of it goes out the other side. Now there's hydraulic hoses on that shaker. Now we've got some spare hydraulic hoses. So we've got them. They're there ready, waiting should we need them. I'm kind of hoping that we don't anytime soon. We've got hydraulic hoses that you can replace on the big excavator, but it doesn't look like there are hydraulic hoses on this one here. This one doesn't seem to have any replacements. I think the whole thing with the bucket tilting downwards is just kind of a thing that happens with it. There's nothing that you could do about it. It's a little bit of a shame, but you know, we will have to learn to live with that, I think. Tip that one out there. I think we're doing okay with tipping it all out, getting it all into the machine. I'm just going to jump out a moment and see what we're doing for percentages. We are only 8:23 in the morning, so we haven't been going very long. What? Okay, what have I been doing wrong? Oh, no. I know what I did. Didn't I? Did I? That one's on. Nothing on there. No, the water's going through it and it's shaking. I've put like 6 bucketfuls in there and there's nothing working. What have I done? That's working down there. Okay, I'll put the hose pipe in there and that one's on. That's exactly as it should be. And then I come up through here. It's saying it's got power, it's got water. I've been tipping stuff in there like I'm supposed to. And some bits have been running down here, and then the rest should be running into this machine, and then going through there. Now, we've got 0% in all of the mats. The buckets have got a little bit of stuff in. That doesn't make any sense, unless they've, like, really slowed down the speed that you get it. It can't be right. How have I not gotten anything out of there? The grills are on. That's all on. That one's running. And those buckets are at 2 and 1%. That's like I've got nothing come out of there whatsoever. There's like literally nothing. Okay, there's something seriously wrong here. I'm not quite sure what. Let me take that one off. Right, the hose is pouring water out, and that one's not got the water mark on it anymore. So now I'll put that back in. That's all running down through. None of those levers need to be pressed or anything like that. There's nothing there. It doesn't say that it doesn't look like there's any springs broken. Let me go over this side, see if there's any springs broken on this side. There's none there. Those look to be okay. Those look to be okay as well. Hose pipes are all on there. Right, I just want to double check that I haven't actually lost anything, because the trommel chain, that's all on. And then we got the grill. So why is it all on 0%? Can you only use the miner's moss once? Is that like a thing? Can you only use them once, and then once you've used them... I wouldn't have thought so, though. You could use them several times on the hog pan, and there was no indication anywhere that you couldn't. Right, let's do a little bit more. We'll do a couple more bucketfuls, and then we'll see. Because if that's... I'm a little bit concerned about this, because if we're spending all our time working for absolutely nothing, we're going to struggle to pay back our loan, because those workers on their own are not going to be able to earn enough to pay the loan and their own wages. They can cover their own wages, but they can't do a lot else. You know, they cover their own wages, then you get a little tiny bit extra, sort of, just something to, like, keep you going. Why aren't I picking that up? Okay, I'm starting to dig a very untidy mess here now, which is not great. I'm starting to think that maybe if we had the bulldozer here, it might help us out a little bit with our digging. My digging skills leave a bit to be desired by the look of it. Okay, let's go and tip a bit more in and see what this is doing. I know I'm doing something wrong here. I must be, because I'm pretty sure we had like 1-2% after a few bucketfuls last time, and I've put in several bucketfuls now. So maybe I'm tipping it too far down. I mean, we've had stuff go right the way through. Okay, that's up there, and now if I back away... Right. We stop there, and then exit. Okay, so I tipped some up. Maybe I was tipping it too far down this way. There's always a possibility that I was tipping it too far down that way. They're now all on 1%. And the other buckets don't really say anything very much, but they are all on 1%. It's always a possibility that I was just tipping it too far down, or they've changed how quickly those maps fill up. I mean, if they've altered that, it could be it's just going to take a very, very, very long time. And the rate that the workers are eating up our money, we are actually going to go to 0 cash by midnight, which means that we're going to lose our workforce. However, if we lose our workforce then, but we don't lose, we still got like enough, maybe a couple of grand below 0, I think we might still be alright. We could stay here for another day and... Never mind the workforce, we can always get more workers later on. We can just sort of stick with what we're doing here, working our way through this. And slowly filling this thing up. What did we get to last time? It was just under 20% on each of the mats. And we ended up getting a nice amount of cash in the end with the mosses and the buckets from underneath everything. It all worked out fairly nicely. We ended up with a good amount of money. So maybe we'll be able to do that again. So let's spin... No! Don't tip over! Okay, is that like a graphics improvement, a physics improvement, or is that something that was there already and I just haven't abused this thing enough so far to be able to actually activate it tipping over? I suspect it's already there, wasn't it? I got a feeling it was. Okay, and if I just put that down a little bit more... And come in there like that, I think. Keep going. Keep pushing. There we go. That's filled up nicely. Right, back. I'd like to go back. Slowly. There we go. Oh, it's because I've got a couple of, like, ridges and stuff in here now. So it's not going to work very easily to allow you... Yeah, I've got too many sort of... bumps now. I need to take a little bit of time, I think, to just level that bit out, and if I can then get the bucket sort of going into it again, and it's going to pick up a lot nicer. So it's going to pick up a lot more easily, I should say. Just bring that one around like that, up a bit more. So I think really we kind of want to be tipping over this way more rather than right down into... I've been tipping towards this chute down this end, but maybe I kind of need to dump it more up in the middle so that more of it ends up going down through the trommel and stuff. That might be a better way to do it. I don't actually know, to be honest. Because I've never watched the series. I've never watched the Gold Rush series, and a lot of people have suggested that I should go and watch it. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to go and watch a whole load of episodes. Despite the fact that I probably quite enjoy watching it, to be fair. I just don't have the time to do it. So I am having to go a bit on guesswork here. I'm also taking on board things that people tell me. So, do keep telling me stuff. Do keep giving me feedback in the comment section about how I should be doing it. Giving me the little tips and tricks, because I do read them. And I know I don't always get to reply to all of them, but I'm certainly absolutely reading all of them. I read every single comment that goes up, and... some of them are absolutely brilliant. The advice that people are able to give me is just absolutely fantastic from people who have watched the series, and in particular from people who do this kind of thing in real life. There are plenty of people watching that do this thing in real life, and that was bouncing around like that in the loader. I can tell you for a fact that that's not the way you treat these machines. I've driven machines like this. I've driven like the JCB Farm Masters, which are very, very similar to this. And I've done quite a lot of work with those things. And yeah, you really wouldn't want to go leaping and bouncing across the countryside like that with it too much. That would... well, first of all, foremost, it would, ignore the fact that it would utterly damage the machine. It would do a lot of damage to the machine. You can ignore that bit. More importantly, it would damage you. You would bounce yourself right out of the seat, and you would end up thumping your skull on the roof. And trust me, that hurts. All right, I've managed to get my machine onto some very rough ground in the past, and thumping your skull on the roof is really not the most pleasant thing that can happen to you on a Tuesday morning, or a Wednesday morning. You know, whichever day of the week it might be. It's just not a very nice thing to do. Okay, can I get in here now? I've sort of leveled it a little bit. I like to think I have. I've done a bit here, at least. I think that's about as much as I can get. Alright, let's just hope that I've got enough in that bucket. I didn't actually take a look inside it that time. And we come back up. So we've reached midday so far. Midday's not doing too bad, I feel. Bring that one up. We'll stop and have another look in a minute. And see how we're doing. I'm hoping that I've sort of managed to get a bit more in here now. Can I back you out? I'm not able to back in and out of this thing very easily. Since I think it's sliding around ever so slightly. Or it's slightly more than it was. Not entirely sure though. Well, let's get another bucket full, and then we will stop and take a look. Just curious how much those mats have moved up to. Whether it's like, I want to go and look, but at the same time I really don't, because I'm like slightly concerned that they're on like 2% now after all this that we've dug out and put in there. And if they are, I'm thinking that we might have to change our approach, because working the tier 2 wash plant, that seemed to work fairly well. So I'm kind of thinking that if we were to get the tier 2 wash plant, maybe if we could pay to move the excavator back over to the other side, and we don't need the wheel loader, we could get the tier 2 wash plant just kind of dumped into something, and then start spooning stuff in with the bigger excavator into twin wash plants. That we could do. Right, I'm going to get stuck in there. Move back out a little bit. There. No, it's going right down over and then getting itself stuck. Let me stop right there and jump out. Right, what have we gotten up to? If it's like 2%, I'm thinking we move back to the other claim and we do tier 2. What is it at? 4%. That's not much better. That's on 5 and 3%. Okay, I'm sure we must be doing something wrong. I'm going to just double check the dig tube thing, because they've updated that one, so there may be new information. It may be taking longer now than it used to. Well, I can find nothing to indicate that there's been any changes or anything like that, and it just seems really strange. I'm sure that we put in a lot more than that. Well, a lot less than that, and we had a lot more back for the amount that we've put in, and we have not. Well, I mean, we've put in quite a bit since we started today, and the buckets are like 5 and 3%, and the gold itself is on like 4%. That seems to be a little bit wrong at the moment. So I'm guessing that either there's like a little bit of a bug, or things have changed, or what? I'm not quite sure. Maybe we're doing it a little bit wrong. Maybe there is actually now more gold deeper down into the claim. I know that they were talking about doing that, but I didn't think they'd actually implemented it today. I thought that was going to be later on. So again, there's all kinds of things that it could be, but what it actually is, I've got no idea. Now I'm going to leave that one right there, and I'm going to run round, and we're going to see if it shows anything up. That is making a terrible racket. It really is. So let's run over here and see. Right, so there's bits coming out, and there's mud running down there. But everything down here, all these numbers, they haven't changed in the slightest. I can run around, I can jump up and down on the trommel. It's probably not the best way to behave on it. Oh, wait a minute. Is that anything to do with it? That seems to have gone a little bit crazy. I'm sure. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. We seem to have a slight glitch here. Okay, new plan. Let's just tip that out a minute, and then we will roll up that lead, and we'll try again, just to see if that is anything to do with it. That might just be a slight bug that has just caused a little bit of a mishap with it. Just lower that one down there. And stop. Handbrake on. And switch the engine off. Right. Let's go and just stop these things a minute. And then I'm very tempted to get the tier 2 wash plant over here for next episode. And we'll do an episode of just stuffing stuff into the Tier 2 wash plant over this side rather than going back to the old Arnold claim. That's going to save us having to move that one. I mean, we could always actually just do it with the small excavator. We could just go over to the old Arnold claim and pay a visit back there just for an episode. Actually, that might be a bit of fun. I think we might do that. We might go over there. And we can just sort of see how it compares with the two. I'd be quite interested to see how that works out. Right then. 4% and 5 and 3. Now that 5 and 3 has not changed. This one's going nuts over here, so I'm going to bring it back this way and I'm going to roll it up. I'm going to completely roll it up. I wonder if we've got to remove that trommel and replace it again. You know, that wouldn't surprise me actually if that's what we've got to do. I'll bring that one up there. I'll let go. I'm trying to coil it up. It doesn't seem to want to coil very well. I'll just drop that a minute and then pick this one up. Try coiling it from this end. Let's gather this one all up and see if that's going to make any difference. Might be better if we... I mean, maybe we could move where we put it because we could... no, I'm not going to do that. It's trying to coil up. It really is. But it doesn't seem to want to do it. Right, I've let it go now. Let me grab this end then. And try and coil it from here. It's stuck. Oh, right. Now we've got it. Okay, so it's up here now. This time, I'm going to plug that end in there. And I'm going to run down here like this. Like I did last time. Now what's it doing? Stuck in the ground. Ah, there we go. Right, it's reasonably straight and tidy up round there. So now I'll come over this way. I do need to just jump over that bit and... plug it back in. Right, no, it's glitched on there. Now, I don't know if it was like that previously or not. I don't think it was, actually. I think that wasn't like that. But, I mean, those haven't changed in the slightest. I'm baffled. I really am. I'm absolutely baffled by this. Can we move that trommel? I mean... if we're going to move the trommel, it means that we've then got to get the excavator and drag it all back over with the hooks and everything to put it back in here. I mean, it may be actually worth all that effort to go and do that again. Grab that end there like that, and... oh, I see what I've done. I've kind of coiled it all up. If I grab that end and bring it over here like this... there we go. Put you back on there. Right, you're definitely not as you should be. There's something not quite right there. And I reckon that's something to do with it. But you never know. So let me just try another little bit. Oh, no, I don't do that. I'll do that. There we go. Start that one and start this one up here and see what it does. We've got plenty of water running through it. Start that. Has it started dancing that one around like crazy? No. Okay, well at least it's not dancing around this time, so maybe that's an indication that we're a step in the right direction. Let's leap over here and go back to our digger over here. We are not going to have enough money to keep those workers for another day. We've got 2.8 ounces of gold, and so far we have managed to get ourselves almost diddly squat. So we're going to need to do something different. We can't keep going like this. If that's not working, if the tier 3 whole thing is not working properly, then we're going to need to try another way. But what I'm thinking is that we've now got a bit of a dip over here, so we could bring the tier 2 wash plant over this way. Well, I mean, we could work one over at the old Arnold claim. We could bring another one over here, and we could park it right there where the wheel loader is at the moment. And you know, just back it in there, and then the excavator can sit up the top and scrape out a hole in behind and spoon it into that. We'd have loads and loads of earth. There's going to be plenty there for it to use, and shouldn't be any issues whatsoever. Let me just bring that one back round there. There we go. And right, go up this way, see what we can do. The wash plant working that way, we used to get about an ounce a bucket, didn't we, when we were working it through on the wash plant? And that seemed that, you know, an ounce a bucket is fairly reasonable, I thought. I didn't think that was an unreasonable amount of gold or anything to get, to sort of get the overall result from it. I thought that was pretty good. So let's just tip this bucket full in. We should at least get like 1 or 2% coming out from the buckets underneath the is it the duplex jig? I think it's duplex jig. we should at least get 1 or 2% extra per big bucketful on there coming through on the bucket at the bottom. And the fact that no, we're not getting, there's nothing, there's absolutely nothing going through. Why is this then? What are we doing wrong? We're definitely doing something wrong. There's something going wrong with this. That's still 5 and 3. Let's go and get another bucketful and see if that's anything. And if anybody else has been experiencing any kind of bug like this, or if anybody else has experienced some issues since the patch that their tier 3 stuff isn't working like it once was, I mean, I know we had more than this. We had like 18%, and I didn't do. I mean, I think I did do a little bit more than I've done now today, but I didn't do very much more than I've done today because, you know, we sort of got it going right, and we've been racing backwards and forwards and spooning the stuff in as fast as we possibly can. So it doesn't seem to make any sense unless it's just because I'm tipping it over on this side. Am I actually spilling more than I should be? That is always a possibility, you know. By tipping it on this side, am I actually dumping most of this on the ground and not into the machine? I mean, look. That's going into the machine, and that wasn't me touching it at all. That was, it was just falling down. It should be going in there. It kind of, it looks like it's going in. And what do we got? Oh, no, it's gone up by 1%. It's gone up 1% on that bucket, but I mean, the mats haven't changed. We've got now 5 and 4, and all the mats are still on 4%. So what is different? And that power cable is still going insane anyway. What is it doing? Seriously. Okay, I don't really know what's going on with that power cable. I'm not too worried about that one. It looks like it's got the power and everything that it needs. It might be that they've altered the amount that goes into the buckets or something like that. It might not be, but no, I didn't actually want to switch that engine off, did I? There we go. Right, let's put another couple of buckets in, and then that is going to be all I've got time for today. So if you enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. Tomorrow, we will get one of the mobile wash plants that we've got over at the old Arnold claim, and we're going to bring it back here, and we're going to stick it right in here where we've been digging with this one. And then we're going to use that and compare a day on that one with what we've done here with a day on this one, and sort of see how the two of them run side by side. What I might do before the start of tomorrow's episode is just take out the mosses and stuff at the bottom of this tier 3 plant, and, you know, just run it through the wave table or something like that. See how much we get for it, and, you know, how much gold we end up with. If I put that one there, am I going to tip this into the machine or not? It's a job to tell, really. I am on the wrong side here, and it's really unfortunate that you can't, like, stockpile dirt near here. The one thing that I would like to be able to do with this game is to put a big pile of dirt right here. If I could put something, you know, roughly where the bucket is now, I could then just get a whole load of stuff with the bulldozer or something like that. I've still got a load of dirt in the bucket. Oh, it's not very much. There's a little bit in the bucket. I wonder if I can bring it down from here. If I could go from this point and just go straight down here like this. How would that work? Maybe we need to dig from a fresh location. We'll just try that a minute. Grab a little bit of dirt from there. Maybe we're just digging in a place that has very little gold. And there was talk that they were going to bring it in. I just don't know when they were planning to bring that in, whether it was going to be soon or whether it was going to be much, much later. And from what I can gather looking on the Facebook page and so on, I don't think anybody else knows either. I think that's kind of, it's been kept a bit hush-hush, so nobody really knows how that's going to work out. Right, let me back down a little bit. I've put 2 more bucketfuls in, and I think that is all we're going to do now. So let's just leap. Oh, no, hang on. Before I leap out, let me just turn those lights off. I don't want a flat battery. I don't know if that does actually do anything, but just in case. So let's come up here. And what have we got? Oop, come down here. Oh, they're all on 6, 4, and all on 5%. So we are doing... something's happening. It's just I'm not quite sure what, and I'm not quite sure how it's doing it. It just doesn't feel like we're getting... It doesn't feel like it's very productive unless we get a lot more gold out of the same mosses and the same buckets and that now. I really don't know. Anyway, that is all I got time for. So thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.